My name is Andre Freitas, and I'm basically a creative entity. I'm the owner of AFX Studios Incorporated. Early influences for me, my mother as an artist, making costumes and painting and teaching art classes, so I was exposed to that and making very elaborate Halloween costumes. And then, drawing monsters and playing with model kits and toys and stuff like that. That kind of started me off creatively. When I was small, I used to sculpt like little things out of silly putty and make little faces and just kind of crush them up. And that's more relative to my art style. Watching horror films in high school and, stuff like that, that was an influence for me. But then as I started seeing more exposure to artwork, I started analyzing artwork for its actual quality, the sculpture, the pose, the composition, the color scheme, and I started learning more about artwork. I was attracted to special effects because it wasn't a one-dimensional art form like painting. You have to do hair work and make teeth and fake eyes and robotics, and there was enough to keep me busy. And my brain just it needed that level of artwork. It was very complex, model building, prop building, fake weapons. I mean, I could just go on and on about all the skill sets. I graduated high school at 19, and I was interested in art and special effects since I was 16, but I didn't know exactly what to do. So I got hired at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. as a sculptor. I worked for them for 4 months in D.C. After that, I came back to Georgia. My dad wanted me to go to college. I didn't really want to do it. I went out to Hollywood. I kept telling my dad I have to go to Hollywood to kind of gauge where my skill or my work was at 19. I went to Hollywood. The third day I was there, I was hired. I cashed in my plane ticket. I stayed for 5 months. Then I came back, and I basically had a need to start my own company. And then I just happened to be on my way home from work, and I was doing a cut through, and I happened to see this sculptor and talk to him, and then he told me that I should talk to the owners of the building, and then that's when I met the landlords, and then I got a small studio. And that was when I was 19, probably back in 91. Well, my company started off being a special effects studio where we would do prosthetic makeups and life cast and makeup jobs and contact lenses and scary faces and burn makeups in old age and body parts and stuff like that. But because of the lack of business in that type of field, we spread off doing disaster drills, and we got into art direction and costumes and props and body armor, and then it started getting into more requests for signs and fine artwork and large-scale sculpture. So then you look at a 15-year period of time in a body of work, seeing as how I didn't stay in one vein of work, I can now work pretty much in any material, like gold or stone or chocolate or cardboard or whatever it is. I'm 19, 20 years old. I did California with Brad Pitt. He showed up at my studio by himself. He was very friendly. I hung out with him for a week. And this is right after Thelma and Louise, before he made it super big. And Juliette Lewis was here, and David Duchovny. I worked on California, Pet Sematary 2, Simple Twist of Fate for Disney, Nell, Thinner, Space Truckers, I'll Fly Away TV series, 99 Farewell Tour for Kiss, and working for Gene Simmons directly. One of the highlights of my life. I did the costumes, the makeup, the contact lenses, the body armor, hydraulic coffins, and the entrance for the beginning of the 99 Farewell Tour, where this character demon that I invented appeared on stage. I pretty much, when I worked for Time Warner and WCW Wrestling, which was when I was 25 years old, they signed me under a contract, and because they noticed all the different skill sets I had, my contract wasn't one-dimensional as a special effects makeup artist. It was more like a creative entity. Art director, or designer, or lighting designer, special effects, any medium that I wanted to work in, my contract encompassed that. Character development, prop making, pretty much whatever I wanted. I live in reality. I have a house payment, I have car payments, I have a giant shop. In order to maintain that, I cannot be a one-dimensional, one-plane artist. I have to think almost like a karate instructor, and understanding artwork as multiple planes and techniques. There's jiu-jitsu, and there's stick fighting, and then there's submission fighting, and this. I have to be well-rounded as an artist in order to keep constantly getting business. I think of art like fishing. It's like one line, you're not going to eat. I throw a whole net out there of techniques, and then I can bring in more work. So current projects that we just completed, we did King of the Ring crown for WWE, which we made it all out of copper. We metal smithed it, silver smithed it, kind of like someone would make a crown for a king. Another project we finished for them was King of Kings costumes for Triple H, one of their premier heavyweight wrestlers. basically like a Conan the Barbarian style costume. We're doing character development, which means that we take photographs of the wrestlers and we do pitch concepts for future designs for them. I just finished a giant 12-foot cross for Harps Crossing Baptist Church. I'm doing a monument for the U.S. government where I'm sculpting 5 military figures. We're making hard-filled trophies for Powerade, which is basically Coca-Cola. I collect tools, I collect techniques, I collect special effects videos. It's more, not only eye candy, but it's also stuff that inspires me. So there's a lot of stuff to look at my studio, but it's more like it's like a giant living portfolio as well as it is, it's a place where I work.